So it's Mark from Barber Brown. I'm just jumping on here to talk about colour passports and skin testing. In recent months, our manufacturers have made changes to the way in which that we have to operate in terms of our use of colour, which comes under COSH regulations. So what this means for us is that we need to change slightly our procedures for colour testing. Now, the reason why we do colour testing is because each individual has what I call a colour cup. It's the easiest way I can describe it. I'm going to use this cup. Now, we all have different size cups because we all have different bodies and we all have different tolerances to certain chemicals. If we draw a line on here and we say that this is a line where you have become allergic, so therefore if you add colour to your hair and to your body and are exposed to these colours and intermediates, by the time you get to here you become over the line and therefore you are in toxic overload. Toxic overload means effectively you are allergic, much in the same way as if you get hay fever or if you're allergic to something like penicillin. So if you go back to the history of colour, and if we go back to when I first started in the late 80s and early 90s, the average colour client was covering grey and usually in their mid-30s or 40s. Now, as a general rule, the population as a whole in the 80s and 90s, there was a very low percentage of people who had toxic overload and exposure to the intermediates that we're testing for. If we zoom forward 30 years, we're now able to get colour at the blink of an eye and the click of a button. Now, what that means is that people have had exposure to colour a lot earlier on in their lives, and generally if you're in your 20s or early 20s, you've probably had 4 or 5 applications of colour per year for several years. So that means that the greater amount of people in the country or in the population who have now got a higher than normal or higher than previous allergy or are closer to this toxic overload to this point here. So insurance companies and manufacturers have cottoned onto this basically, and what they now require is a couple of things. One is that if you are having your colour done regularly, so if we see you every 6 weeks, as we do with many hundreds of clients, and you're always having this colour, and it could be any colour, but you're always having this colour and you don't make a change to that colour, for instance you're happy with the way it looks and you get a great result from it and you like it, then we only have to give you a skin test once per annum. That once per annum means that you will have to come in separate to your appointment and gain your colour passport. However, if, like a lot of people, you change the tone of your colour and you might be this colour here and having it for ages, but one day decide actually no, I want to go to this colour, well, the intermediates that sit in colour A, the first colour you're currently having, are going to be different to the intermediates in colour B. Now, that means we have to do an extra skin test. It doesn't take long, it's a 15-minute procedure, you just need to book online. When you come in, bring a picture, we can talk about your colour, we can work out what we're going to do, we can go through maintenance, give you as much advice and guidance as you need and that is unique to you, and effectively we gave you a colour passport. Once you've got your skin test, and how that looks is that we will take a colour and generally we will try and do the target shade that we are looking to go to. We will put a little dollop of it on the inside of your arm. So if you're coming in for your colour test and you're wearing long sleeves, try and get something that's like me. I've tucked this up so that you're not going to get colour on your shirt. We generally put a tissue in here to protect this. If you're getting your skin test, please don't get it behind your ear, because if you do have a reaction, you are closer to the glands in the body and that reaction can be more severe. Now, once you've had your skin test, we then get you back in for your colour and we then ask you a series of questions. Normally, or historically, we would do that on paper, but we believe in a paper-free salon, so we use our iPads. You'll have a little form that we fill out and we'll go through our colour questions that are required by our manufacturer, and if all is good and all is rosy, we then colour your hair.